Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive Perspective. Please like, share, subscribe, and thank us on this channel, because without your support, independent channels like ours can't survive. We need your support. With me in the studio, I'd like to welcome Sheikh Imran Hosein, no stranger to Deep Dive Perspective. He has a fascinating take on Iran, economy of the world today, and how we could perhaps break out of a lot of the maladies that we see really lining up, piling up for all of us. You know, the Hormuz Strait being closed down, blockades in place, chokeholds all over the world potentially being triggered, all means trouble for us economically. But is our economic system even fit for purpose? All we seem to have seen is billionaires proliferating and the rest of us all becoming more and more poverty-stricken in many cases. Welcome to the show, Sheikh Imran Hosein.
Thank you very much, Sayyid Mohsin Abbas. I'm happy to be once again with you.
Well, it's a pleasure to invite you back, and I've raised the issue of Iran as a central point. I think that's where we'd probably kick things off. You've seen what's emerged, but I want to talk more about Iran's own situation regarding its military power and its economic reality.
During one of my visits to Iran, I met with the former president, Mahmud Ahmadinexhad. He was a very, very polite, very gentle, and a man of great distinction. I was impressed by him. And Mahmud Ahmadinexhad said to me that it was Iran was the first to project to make the idea of BRICS an alternative to the Bretton Woods monetary system, which produced the International Monetary Fund. He said to me that we spoke to Russia on the subject. These were his words to me. And then China and Russia took the lead, and BRICS came into being. If what Mahmoud Ahmadinexhad said to me was correct, how do we explain that despite this advanced thinking on the part of Iranian leadership that gave birth to BRICS, Iran was not a member of BRICS, as a founding member of BRICS, not at all.
No. And
the Iranian rial is an apology of money. And the Iranian toman is also moving in the same direction as a disgraceful money, pathetic money, money that is constantly falling in value. And as the money falls in value, prices keep on rising, and it's called inflation. And that is Iran's weakest part of the state. How do you explain? I went to Iran so many times. I met with the ayatollahs, and only two of the ayatollahs I met showed an understanding of the weakness of the monetary system. One of them was Ayatollah Shirazi, who was in Qom, and who was a very, very honorable man and learned man and wise man, yes, and gentle. But I loved I loved the Ayatollah Shirazi when I met him at his home. And that man taught me a lesson about riba. I would take 100 lectures. I would take 100 lectures to teach what that man taught me in a few minutes. Yes, that is the wisdom of Ayatollah Shirazi. May Allah have mercy on the soul of that great man who understood. He understood the falsehood of the monetary system that Iran was using. And then there was Ayatollah bin Azadi in Shiraz. And this was the second Ayatollah who showed an understanding. He said to me that the money that they're now using in Iran is the root and the heart of all the evil in the country. This was his words.
No.
But when I met with the great Ayatollah, I won't mention any name now, I thought I was speaking to a stone wall. The great Ayatollah showed no understanding at all about the modern monetary system. They never taught it to them in court. They were just as ignorant as all the rest of the Sunnis. No difference between Shia and Sunni. They're all at sea when it comes to monetary economics. This is a pathetic situation. And I don't know whether Iran needs another 50 years before Iran wakes up to realize so long as you're using this bogus money, you are vulnerable. You will be attacked, your money will be attacked, your prices will be rising, there will be inflation, and people will be demonstrating against you, and you deserve the bad name you get because you're so incapable of being faithful to the Quran and restoring dinar and dirham as money. Don't tell me it is not possible. Don't tell me because you've never tried it.
Yes.
Don't say we can't do it because the rest of the world is not doing it, because you've never tried it. Allah will help those who want to walk on the right path. It is shameful, it is disgraceful, it is manifestly sinful that the world of Islam will not return to dinar and dirham. I will die and leave this world, and they will still remain in the mess in which they are, and yet they believe they're good Muslims.
Sheikh Imran, what would happen if you reverted to gold, dinar and dirham, silver, etc.? The trade, of course, you'd make coinage, and internally within a resistance economy, which Iran has been forced to adopt, really, again, many of the neoliberal banking fraternity within Iran, who were probably trained in the West, just as many medical doctors would have been trained, in fact, still seem to bow to the WHO, the World Health Organization, which worries me as well, to be fair. In fact, bowing to any of the institutions created by the anglo-sionist imperialist order, or the Pax Americana, as you would probably say, or whether it was the Pax Britannica at that time. All of these institutions, the UN, the WHO, the OPCW, the chemical weapons guys, the atomic agency, the International Atomic Agency, AIEA, all of these are institutions set up by that power, the Western imperialist Zionist power, in order to essentially control the world. That's my take on things. So for Iran, which does seem to love taking part in these institutional setups, and they like also being on the right side of them. They like to always show that they are complying with all the rules and regulations, the international order. That seems to be a big priority amongst a lot of the governments, whether it was President Rouhani, and especially the reformist elements, it seems to me. Whereas Ahmadinejhad was less deferential to these institutions. In fact, he ruffled a lot of feathers during his short stay in power. Is it that it's just that these people who went back with some of this knowledge from the West and perhaps infiltrated those institutions and had the skills to run banks, to run things, did it exactly with the same template which the West had given them. So does it require a complete review? And what happens in reality if you split off from the world banking system, the way it operates, and you go to this resistance economy using only gold and silver? How does that affect your trade? How does that, can it practically work in your experience, do you think?
Good question. I have not asked, did you transform the entire monetary system? When did I ever ask for that? I have not asked that you transform the economy overnight. When did I ask for that? All that I've asked for is that Iran should declare dinar and dirham as legal tender. That's all. That's all. That is all.
Right. Okay.
I didn't ask for anything more than that. That's all.
Sure.
Just declare dinar and dirham legal tender, meaning your real can continue in the market. Your toman can continue in the market. That bogus money can continue.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
Your economy will continue functioning as it is functioning right now.
Yeah.
But the difference now is that you have, in addition to that bogus money, you now have real money in the market.
I see.
What happens when real money comes in the market? Answer.
Mm-hmm.
Every banker knows it. The IMF knows it.
Mm.
The IMF knows that if you have real money in the market, bogus money will collapse. Let me repeat that. The minute that real money comes into the market, bogus money will collapse. How many times do I have to repeat it? Do I have to teach from my grave as well? Huh?
Yeah.
Tell me. So if this is the reason why the International Monetary Fund, the Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund, prohibits the use of gold as money. Ask them, why have you prohibited the use of gold as money? They will never answer that question.
Wow.
Because if they answer that question, the cat will come out of the bag.
I see. Yeah.
Our people who criticize me for asking the dinar and dirham should be made legal tender. They have not studied international monetary economics. No, they call me a dreamer. I'm someone who is my views are out of place in a square peg in a round hole, all these things.
Yeah,
a radical thinker.
Yeah.
They can say what they want. I am more faithful to the Quran than they are. That is the reason why the International Monetary Fund, Articles of Agreement, has prohibited the use of gold as money. Because if gold comes back as money, the bogus monetary system that came out of the IMF will collapse. Now then, Israel has made dinar and dirham legal tender. Has Israel collapsed? No, Israel is still functioning. There are several states within the United States of America which recognizes dinar and dirham as legal tender.
Gold and silver.
Has the United States collapsed? Has the sky fallen down as yet? No.
Nope.
I have not asked for any radical transformation of the monetary system.
I see.
Sayyid Mohsin Abbas, I have only asked for one thing. That's all.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
I want you to make dinar and dirham legal tender. So when someone has to pay for something, he can use dinar and dirham, and you cannot refuse it. And if someone works and he wants his salary, you have to pay his salary in dinar and dirham if he asks for his salary in dinar and dirham. Because now it's legal tender, it's money. It's recognized as money. Will Iran ever, the Islamic Republic of Iran, will they ever be faithful to the Quran? Dinar is in the Quran. I'm wasting my time talking to Iran.
Yeah. No.
I'm wasting my time. I don't bother to talk to the rest. I won't talk to Pakistan, but I can talk to Iran. But I'm wasting my time. When will Iran wake up?
I'm very much with you on this.
I don't expect Pakistan to ever be faithful to the Quran, but I expect Iran to be faithful to the Quran.
I mean, my fascination over this is really that Iran, under pressure, has been put into this resistance economy mode. They've had sanctions of every kind, like the Russians and like the Cubans, and Cuba has survived under sanctions. You know very well, better than me, how much it's been hammered. The Russians have probably more sanctions placed on them now than even Iran, quite probably. And of course, Iran has had sanctions, and neither of them have imploded. Yes, they've got inflation, all these things, but I like your idea about having this kind of real money. Now, Iran is very, I think it's got a large gold reserve. I think generally its reserves are pretty good. They have oil, of course, which you've described in your narrative, even around the Zulkarnain issue, which we were discussing a lot earlier, as the prophet predicted gold in Iraq, but you said it was the oil was actually representative of gold. But actually, this dirham and dinar, along with the oil revenues, could be very powerful tools. And some would argue that you'll go back to this, in your young days, you'd have remembered the Lahore conference in 1974, 75, where Bhutto brought together Shah Faisal and the Shah of Iran.
February of 1974.
Yeah, they tried at that time.
February of 1974, yeah.
They tried at that time to muscle their way into creating an Islamic, sort of secular Islamic economy to get some more autonomy. And of course, they were all wiped out.
Both the people, both the leaders who are at the forefront of that effort, King Faisal of Saudi Arabia, rahimahullah,
yes,
and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto of Pakistan, both of them were assassinated because, like Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, they were attempting to make a change.
Yeah.
But the traitors who now rule over us are too scared to do what Faisal was trying to do, what Bhutto was trying to do, what Gaddafi was trying to do. And Shejh Mohsen Abbas, we've had a long session already. And
you're probably wilting. Yeah, we've had a absolutely fascinating discussion. And I think very few other people I could have talked about that dinar and dirham concept. It's something that I will put forward, and I'll probably unpack it with some Iranian establishment figures in the economy. So I'm going to put them on the spot and ask them the questions that you've asked, and we're going to try to push this idea, because now, in a way, Sheikh, maybe it's the time, both on the nuclear issue, which you've suggested, and you've been tearing your hair out about saying go all the way and create it. Many people will agree with you on that now, and of course with the dinar and dirham. This is almost in their faces, given that they're so badly sanctioned and so they're under siege. Essentially, their people are being affected with death through these sanctions. I think these are two very excellent areas that you've raised. They've been done, of course, in the context of a wider eschatological discussion we had as well. But I will let you rest, because I know you've had a tiring day as well. And
thank you. Okay.
We'll revisit this. You know, I could have gone another 2 hours with you on this. Well, when you're fresh next time, another engagement, whenever you're free. There aren't that many people I can talk with from the Islamic circles as clearly on these issues, and we will need to revisit them. And I think they're very important.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and they're important insofar as not just for Iran. and the Islamic world, I think the West itself, Sheikhna, now is going to understand the power of these nefarious economic forces in the background, the Wall Streets of the world and the City of Londons and all of these kinds of money mafias in the background, who, to me, it looks like they're actually trying to exercise a new kind of world order, for sure, something we can discuss later. But
it's coming, it's
sure.
creeping, but it's coming, and it's going to be a rope around our necks.
Well,
we are moving in the direction of universal slavery, but that's another subject.
It's another subject, and it's another reason for us to reconvene. When you're back in Trinidad, maybe if we get some time, these are you've warmed us up for maybe another topic. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you get back home safely through all the trials and tribulations you've faced over the last week or so.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for joining us, Sheikh Imran Hosein. There we have it. That's the end of our show today. Deep Dive Perspective, again, bringing you issues which perhaps you may not have heard of and thought of, but certainly here Sheikh Imran has put several cats among, he's put several issues online, and we need to now go back and think about these, reflect on them. Muslims have a duty to put forward systems which are halal, which are optimal for creating optimal human beings, for optimal human societies. And when we shy away from fundamental issues like usury, or shy away from the use of gold and silver, the traditional things which were there in place, the prophetic way, we fail to look at the prophetic economy that was there in Medina back in the 10 years or so where the Prophet himself ruled, then we're missing a trick, because the Prophet, peace be upon him, had economic systems. He had successful economic systems on a state level, which could be, I think, definitely expanded into empires or states or nationhoods. There's no reason why those policies shouldn't work. They would be anti-poverty, I think. They would be much more towards equity within society. They would be much more towards breaking the power of those multi-billionaires who today are openly flouting their wealth and basically telling the rest of us that you will have nothing and be happy. This is a slogan that Klaus Schwab and the WEF have openly been insulting the rest of the world with today. And I'm afraid unless we first of all recognize what the alternative is, then we're going to wallow in the shackles of slavery, which we're there creating for the 21st century, which involve using AI, surveillance mechanisms, robots, brain chipping, you name it. They've got it all online, ready for you. Islam does offer an alternative. And the more I listen to people like Sheikh Imran, I'm beginning to recognize that the economic solution is probably the most powerful one that we need to push much harder. That requires what he criticizes, the ulama within the Islamic world, first of all, to actually believe in Islamic economics, or at least understand it even, first of all. That might help. And you can't understand it unless you address it and unless you try to create models and institutions. So I'm with Sheikh Imran on these critiques. I think that he's got a point. There's a real serious discussion for Muslims to have, and there's a serious discussion for people in the Marxist left and in the capitalist circuit as well, to understand that your systems have already failed and they're already making the rich richer, and now you need to think carefully about what the solutions are, and don't write off the Islamic solutions, because they're there. And perhaps maybe people in the West are the ones who have to go and look at those and come out with the solutions if the Muslims aren't. Either way, it would lead, I think, to a far better world. Thank you once again to Sheikh Imran Hosein for his valuable time. And thank you for watching this edition of Deep Dive Perspective. Thank you.